In this series on Army of God Rising, one thing we need to remind ourselves of is that we need the attributes of a soldier. So much of the time, especially those of us in America, we've had such a blessed society that has had civil order and things like that, which is not the case all the way around the world. And when I think back on the early church, they were born, the church was birthed into an anti-Christian civilization, and there was great persecution. And the Apostle Paul wrote to young Timothy, who was pastoring during a time when it was very difficult to pastor. It was not an easy thing to pastor. And in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3, Paul told Timothy to endure hardness, difficulties, as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. And in verse 4, he goes on to say, "No man that warreth entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier." We need to be reminded of this. The Lord has chosen us to be in the army of God, and there is an army of God rising right now. But as I've looked around, I think there's a great need that we remind ourselves that we are called to endure difficulties. We're called to endure hardness. There are things that we go through that if we don't guard our heart will become hard. The Lord spoke to me many years ago. He said, "Mark, the same sunshine that hardens clay melts butter." And he was communicating to me regarding my heart. He says, "What you're going through, Mark, is not your problem. It's your response to what you're going through." And so I want to encourage you to be a good soldier of the Lord. Be part of this army of God that is rising. Let the difficulties that you're going through right now, let them soften your heart toward God, but harden yourself toward the enemy, toward the adversary, and toward the devil.